Welcome back into Rogers State basketball on RSU Public Television. Steve Braun alongside the first-year head coach for Rogers State Golf. That's T.J. Dickinson. Coach, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
You're in your first year, came over from Oklahoma Wesleyan where you had spent 4 years as the head coach there. What has it been like transitioning just down the road from Bartlesville?
Man, it's been a whirlwind. Getting a job later in the game in August and moving over here and meeting the kids literally on the first day of school and trying to get everything rolling. It's been a bit of a whirlwind, but we're getting settled in and enjoyed the fall semester and looking forward to spring.
We've joked before in my office, in your office, not only were you hired right as school started, but right as you start, the guy that hired you, the AD, Ryan Irwin, he takes another position as well. So you come into a new job with an interim boss at the time, now a new boss. What have been some of the things that you've just tried to get into, and what has it been like from the players on that transition?
I'm just trying to get to what we've done. We had some success off with Oklahoma Wesleyan, and we brought that here. Being consistent every day in practice, setting expectations, holding them accountable to those expectations. And once season starts and you get traveling and you get doing some of that stuff, it makes it pretty easy just to get into a routine. And so that's what we've done. The players, it's a different regime. They've had to learn my expectations. We're kind of just getting to that point where they know what I expect of them. And we're kind of getting into that rhythm where, like I said, I'm looking forward to, we've had a good weather run the last few weeks for practice, and it's been good.
You're the third coach in program history. Lynn Blevins the first, Josh Fosdek, the one that you replaced. What did you know about Rogers State and Rogers State golf before you took this job?
I actually knew quite a bit. The former NAI, we ran into him a couple of times. My first year there as you guys were transitioning to Division II. So I kind of knew quite a bit about that. I grew up in Glenpool, played a lot of golf at Heritage Hills and in this area. Knew Rogers State was somewhere where I kind of wanted to be as my career progressed. And when the job opened, I was really happy. Transitioning
from NAIA at Oklahoma Wesleyan to Rogers State, now a Division II program, full membership. What has that process been like? I know the rules are very different, but I'm sure when it comes down to the nuts and bolts of being a golf coach, it's a lot of the same. Yeah, recruiting's recruiting. You are probably recruiting a little bit different athlete and a little bit more higher caliber kid here, and you need a few more of them than you did at the NAIA level. But yeah, there's a few rules changes that we've had to get used to, but fortunately we've got a great staff here with our compliance guy, with Mr. Eddie Jackson and Don Tatro that have helped me through that. And so it's been a pretty smooth transition from that. You were able to benefit from starting the women's golf program at Oklahoma Wesleyan. What were some of the challenges of that, and does that help you come into a place that has only had golf since 2009? Yeah, that's a good question. Women's golf, it seems like everybody's starting women's golf. And the pool of women's golfers is already smaller than that of the men's golfers. And so starting it there was tough because, trying to find those kids that want to buy into starting a program, not a lot of scholarship money up there. And so there were some unique challenges there. But here, it's pretty well established. The program is left in a good spot with a couple of good players. And we're just trying to build on that and, do that. Let's talk about that women's golf program. Who are some of these young ladies that people should keep an eye on this spring? Yeah, so Micah Easton, she's arguably our best player. She has the school record with 69. She actually matched it again this year. She had a putt on 18 that she missed to break that. So she's pretty driven. I think that's what she wants to do is to break that. She was a little inconsistent in the fall. We're looking for a little bit more consistency out of her as we get into the spring, but she's a good one. The other one to keep your eye on is Keena Boone. She's a senior, been here 4 years, set through the transition, and is really excited to get this going. Our region's tough. It is. Obviously, from my standpoint, it's the toughest region in the country. And so we've got our work cut out for to try to get through the conference with the #1 team in the country in it, through a region that's got a lot of really, really good teams in it. And people think about golf, and they may not know a lot about how college golf works. When you talk about being in the conference, being in the region, that plays a lot, but you're not really going against every team in your conference every single week or every single tournament. So explain a little bit how the college golf system works when it comes to tournaments week in, week out, and then going into the postseason now that you're postseason eligible. Yeah, so it is different in the fact that you don't have a conference schedule where you play everybody home and home, and so it is a little different in that. Regional is based on head-to-heads. So you do schedule, schools will host tournaments. We're going to,
different schools tournaments. Obviously, we'll play 6 of them on the women's side this spring, and so you get regional head-to-heads. You look at the field, you look at all that, and see who you have been beat by, who you have beat, who you need head-to-heads with to move up in those regional rankings. They produce one of those every week. The top 9 teams out of your region get at-large berths into the regional tournament. So that's obviously the goal, is to get in that top 9. And so you're looking at some of those teams that are ahead of you to get head-to-head wins against, so that you can move up. So it's really similar to the conference standings in a basketball. You're just looking at regionals week in and week out.
You talked about women's golf, and every school seems to be adding it. Yep. The Oklahoma area, so many golf courses. We've seen that kind of decline because of the financial economic status of the state, but it must help to have so many golf courses, so many girls that now know that there is an opportunity for them to maybe earn a little bit of money in scholarship dollars to now come out and play golf. Have you seen it tick up even since you started the women's program 5 years ago at Oklahoma Wesleyan, and the number of girls that are now playing?
Yeah, I would say absolutely we have. That anytime you get a chance to move a different scholarship level, they were playing basketball, they were playing softball, they were doing some different things to be able to try to get scholarships, and we've kind of moved into another area of that. And there's been a lot of really good stuff done with Oklahoma junior golf, with high school golf, with summer golf, with the AJGAs, and there's definitely a trend upward of women at the high school level from an early age that are competing in that, and it's great. It's great for the state of Oklahoma, it's great for the surrounding areas, it's great for the golf courses. It's just great for growing the game and bringing some awareness to what we're trying to do as a college golf society.
You talked about the junior golf program. A lot of people know about summer baseball. They may know about the AAU system, competitive soccer. What's it like on the golf scene?
Man, it's busy. It's busy. They've got everything from the AJGA, the OJGTs, the South Central sections. There's something going on, if not every day, every weekend, where they can play tournaments on Saturdays and Sundays, and they can turn around, they can play Monday and Tuesday in another event. And they're all relatively local, the Tulsa area, the Oklahoma City area, to where they're not having to drive and stay overnight and do some of this stuff. And there's a lot of different options in that during the summer, and it's busy. It's as busy as you want to be for, the AJG, or excuse me, the AAU and the travel baseball and travel soccer and all that stuff. It's morphed into that to where it's more individualized, but it's still, you're traveling just as much.
Let's talk about the men's side of things as we round down this segment. But Hagen Barmassi, we'll get to see a little bit more about him here in a minute. But who are some of the other guys on the men's side of things that people should keep an eye on?
Yes, so I would go with 2 kids. We've got a junior, Alex Marsh, and then we've got a sophomore, Patrick Bart. Both are UK kids. Both are trending in the right direction as far as scores and leadership. And, it was a little bit of a battle because the old expectations, new expectations, so quickly getting everything established. But we've really gotten to like a nice little rhythm, and those guys have bought into what we're trying to do. And we're really, really looking forward to what they hold this year. But, they're also returning, so what they hold for the next year and 2.
Let's learn a little bit more about your senior, Hagen Barmassi, right now.
I got started playing golf just going out with my dad and my grandpa, and I just picked up the game, and I actually started liking it, and I played all through high school, and then ended up here at Rogers State. Being part of a golf team, especially at RSU, is just like the atmosphere as a team. We're just one big happy family. We try to push each other, make ourselves better. Everybody holds themselves accountable and holds other people accountable is really what I like and what's been a big impact on the team. My favorite community engagement that we had was when there was a big tornado that hit in the Claremore area. We went and helped out and picked up trash, picked up debris, and just helped comfort people that lost just about everything they had. And it was a really good experience, and I hope that we do more of that. The experiences that I've had at RSU, not only for golf, but for the academic side, we had to do 2 internships, and I did one here at Rogers State, which has really just opened my eyes to the behind the scenes of college athletics. And I did one with a professional hockey team in Tulsa, and just to see the behind the scenes of what they have to do before the games, after the games, has really just opened my mind to the sports industry, and it's been a really good experience.
Talk a little bit about the kind of kid that Hagen is, not just on the golf course, but off the course.
Man, we don't have enough time. He is He's a special young man. I really, really enjoyed getting to know him. He's a fifth-year guy. Actually set out last year's junior year, which is a little atypical to be able to participate his last year in NCAA Division II. He's just a great young man. He's a great leader. What you see is what you get. I mean, that video right there was Hagen. And that's the type of kid that comes into our program every single day, works really hard, challenges everybody. We're going to really, really miss him when he graduates, but we're really looking forward to the spring and what he can accomplish.
And he's a special player on the course as well, a young man that is one of your top players. And he's a guy that has gone through. You're now his third coach. How has he transitioned, and how has he helped you maybe transition as well? That's
a good question. You know, he has transitioned. I mean, he's an older. He's an older kid. He's been around a little bit, and so that probably makes the transition. With his maturation, he probably is able to handle it a little bit better. He's helped me a ton. I mean, he's helped me get to know some of these guys. He's helped me get to know the processes and what's worked and what hasn't worked. And I mean, he's really eased my transition into here.
Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Rogers State golf team as they get ready for the spring semester. You head to Lubbock Christian, the Chaparral Invitational. That's always a program that is up at the top of the conference almost year in, year out.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. The Rawls course down there in Lubbock is fantastic. It's actually Texas Tech's home golf course. So we're looking forward to going down there and getting started in March.
And then some of those other tournaments that take place, and then you wrap it up with the Heartland Conference Tournament. That's always a fun event. And now you have a chance as a program to go in and win your first conference championship.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about this in one of our team meetings the other day that we've been beat by everybody in the conference. We beat everybody in the conference. And so I think it's really wide open, and we're looking forward to getting down there to Horseshoe Bay and seeing what happens.
Coach, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
That's Coach T.J. Dickinson, the first-year head coach for Rogers State, the third coach in program history. More Rogers State basketball right after this on RSU Public Television.
Oklahoma Heroes is made possible by Rogers State University and the